For everyone's edification, before we jump right in, let's slide through this our new executive summary. We'll go through the meeting agenda. Obviously, in October, meeting months. Don't have a month for meeting. You'll just get the packet. So we'll introduce this executive summary. Go through the process. We'll be in the meeting. Do the previous. We will always have our calendar for the year as part of this executive summary, as well as the membership of the Oversight. We don't have anything to vote on or present in October, so this makes it even more streamlined today. But just that setup as we move forward.
Okay. All right, we will call to order the meeting of the DOTComm Oversight Committee. It's 2:33, and there is a copy of the Open Meetings Act as amended on the north wall in the folder over there. Just to get started, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the July 16th meeting? Do I have a second? Okay. Let's go. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Great. Moving on to the executive summary.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Just a reminder of DOTComm's nodal strategy. We've got ourselves broken up into our service management node, which are those in orange, which is typically not behind the scenes, hard work of the day to day. And then we've got our purple nodes, our task forces, where we co-mingle with members of the Oversight Committee, as well as members of the city at large, talk about strategic and on those fronts. The packet, and there's a note at the bottom of each one of these slides in the executive summary that references the larger packet of information. It goes through in more detail each one of these notes. What's been happening recently, what they're working on now, and what they expect in the future. We produce every month, along with the executive summary, which I would present with the help of my team as needed, in basically 5 major areas, starting with our Oversight Committee and the business we have there. First of which being, starting point, right, our new executive summary to try to streamline the communication. We live in a world where people can read on their own, right? And we produce that information, and you can have AI read it to you if you want to, right? And as well as I'll talk about in a minute, here now at DOTComm, the better part of this year, I've been producing a month that we call threads, which is another vehicle for us to summarize and put in succinct, we hope at least quasi-entertaining format, things that people need to know about what's going on. Projects, our staffing changes, things to do with cybersecurity, AI, all those different things. So I'll touch on that in a minute. Actually, I'll touch on it. Go do it. I just did some screenshots of it. It looks more streamlined. I'm not going to go through each one of these, but it's just a recognition that it's out there. We publish it, hopefully, usually on the first of every month. And it will give things like talking about some staffing changes we have that were key that people interact with on a regular basis. Gemini, statistics about DOTComm, what we're doing. A lot of cybersecurity this month because October is cybersecurity awareness. So just a shout out to threads, and another reason why this executive summary works is we're communicating outwardly every month with anyone in the city county. Another executive oversight committee function is to look at and review the proposed schedule 6 each year. So this is it. Our bylaws state that we presented here at this meeting, and then if any changes with things they want to see differently. We'll do that, but for the moment, it resembles our calendar this year. We've got our kickoff meeting in January. In April, we designated that for our audit presentation for our previous year. In July, we'll do officer elections and our budget approval, as well as then here in October, our engineering meeting. So that is the schedule. It's out there for you guys to consider. Change on this, reach out to Sandy or myself or anybody else. So there are 2 things from the Oversight Committee area. New format, threads is going to be published every month, as well as our proposal. Moving on, Kelly Gray has the notes listed there. So what I've asked each of these individuals, Kelly, DJ, Julie, and Bob, to do is pick 2, 3 things. What are the 2 or 3 things we want the world to know about what's going on inside that giant packet of information that gets tedious to Inside Kelly's area, what we report on in that package each month is the major contracts. Month of October, no major contracts. If there are, we'll see that this executive summary or something. It's cybersecurity month. Say hi, Greg. We're probably getting emails from Greg or from our IT security address, and every year we make a push. Security is always on the tip of everyone's on the mind because it's so important. We've got these themes that we put out here. I'm reading to Greg now, right, Greg? Email just went out about the organizer tips. So we've got this plan along with the cybersecurity education that we're trying to push. Greg, you want to say a few words about that program?
Yeah, so as far as the cybersecurity training, huge improvement for the city of Omaha. Sandra and HR put out a mandate that training be done by the end of October, and people are listening to it. So huge improvement there. We're following up with the county and where we get. Still would love to have everyone have a cybersecurity training done at the end of the year, even if not required in certain areas. And that would be a huge amount of progress.
And as always, Ray, we appreciate the invitation. There's training videos out there, all sorts of things, as well as I just jumped. Hey, here to remind you of another thing. I think we've all seen an increase in phishing attempts. These emails are getting really good at pretending to be people. We've gotten them where someone's pretending to be me, asking one of our financial people to make a payment. I mean, it's a lot. And so we have to all be diligent. We can't rely mainly on just the technology to keep that out of our inbox or out of our phone. So Greg, thank you and your team for continuing to push that in there.
I just have one comment on that line of thinking. I didn't know if we could do like have a collaborative I don't know, contact list that if like the city of Omaha were to get a phishing one, or we do in Douglas County or DOTComm, that we would share it with each other. It's happening a lot more frequently in our office. And so I mean, we've had to change some ways that we verify vendors because of it. And so just something to think about, a way to communicate when those are coming in, and you know, if they get to a point where they're serious, a way to like at least share that information with each other. It would be helpful.
City ones within the city.
I'm just saying, if they have a attempt that is, you know, very credible, it would be nice to share that information with each other, just in case we get the same type of communication at Douglas County.
Very nice. There's two things. First, if anyone gets this or you're dealing with them, send them directly to Greg. Because they can not only see them, we can blacklist certain email addresses, we can put word out, and if we see something like that, the best mechanism we have to communicate it is through, you know, sending it something to all our entire enterprise. So we are seeing an uptick in this type of fish with this type of thing. We see, you know, cognizant of these type of things. So first of all, send it to Greg, and then second of all, that is the mechanism we can use to share that out.
So do you mean report as phishing and then it goes to Greg, or do you want to actually email to Greg instead of report as phishing?
Send Greg. It's one of the good ones, right? If it's the typical phishing where this is obvious, let them do it, right? But if it's one that got to somebody, or it's impersonating Sandy, or it's impersonating Eliza.
Well, no, they're impersonating actual vendors now. We think that they're getting them maybe from our website, or you know, we pay these certain construction companies, so they're trying to set themselves up as they are the construction company, so that they're seeking large payments, right? Because
so correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, we'd like those sent to you. Our IT security email address, multiple ways to get it. Send call service desk. There's many ways to get to us, whatever you're comfortable with. Say, hey, I've got this thing, I need you.
Right, and I feel like we are doing that. I was just thinking of a way to just you know, notify other, you know, the city, notify you guys if we're having these serious.
We're seeing an uptick, or you see one that really is, let's take that. We'll take that mission to say, hey, we're seeing this type. And you know, that's one of the topics, right? And it's one of the, but there is something to be said for a specific alert. We had one a couple weeks ago on one particular application. We had a known security vulnerability. So, hey, you're aware of it. We saw it, corrected it. We let them know. And this is another avenue. You talk about specific, incredible examples. That's good.
Sure. Yeah, but I think the finance purchasing clerk's office will do a lot, but maybe the certain group that you're talking about, that one I'll think about how to create something
Yeah, just an idea, just because like I said, they're getting really good. Really
Oh, yeah.
good.
All experience. So, we can help each other out. Just be thoughtful, sometimes these get caught by something, but this is our stuff. Like this is weird, right? Why is Derek telling me to date is that by 2 o'clock tomorrow? I mean, he's never done that before, but it works, right? Because people say, well, they told me to do it, so I'm gonna do it, right? And it's that trust above there. So again, cybersecurity top of mind. If anyone ever has a topic or something comes up, reach out to us right away. Grab it, put something out on threads. We found that to be a really good avenue to talk about these things a little bit. So that's cybersecurity month. Our 27 operating budget. It's crazy to think about, but we're drafting that as we speak, doing our snapshots of inventories, everything that goes along with that. So I know that's a long ways away, but we'll be talking the 27 budget here. That's the DJ's areas along the applications, data visualization, that sort of thing. Got a couple really nice wins last month. Health center, they went live with that's their electronic health records. That's a very, very challenging thing to do, as everyone can imagine. A lot of selling in was, let's say it's challenging circumstances at times. And that went live. A lot of people talk about that publicly and celebrate those wins. Also, the DOTComm report went live. In the packet, you can see there's our online hearing courses live out there. That's another nice milestone. Those little things are happening in the background all the time. It's nice to acknowledge that. And then all public works, solid waste integration with this. Waste for version is live again. A lot of this is inside baseball. It happens behind the scenes. A lot of people put a lot of time and effort to make these integrations happen. I want to celebrate when those things go up. In Julie's area, we had about 2,400 tickets created last month via self-service. About 2,400 tickets created last month, 26% of which were through our self-service portal, which we continue to see a slight rise of 24%. That's really our preferred method of people being able to shoot a ticket or a project is to go through that self-service portal. So we'll continue to do things to push traffic to that. But our quarter is pretty good. It's much higher.
For cross issues, we really always do that.
Yeah, for a non-emergency issue or something like that, maybe we'll break that out. How that percentage differs between requests and 80% of our incidents and 73% of our requests close within 5 days. So that's a good benchmark. As we get better at interpreting HALO and creating new reports, we'll continue to provide better and better information to work on. And then it's always, our projects, like such a place in everyone's heart. We closed 5 projects in the last month. There we are. You look at our active project dashboard, we break down for cities shared a goal of 49 projects, 5 of which we're very aware of that aren't at this point with some sort of slowdown or issue. And then finally, Bob's area, our infrastructure and operations, Windows 11, we're all familiar with that. Talk about that month after month in your packet in more detail on the numbers there. But we're at about 4,100 machines, almost 180. The new central library network build out is on track. We're familiar with that building, what's going on there. That's top of mind. I'm sure we're doing what we need to do to make sure that facility has the IT that it needs. But as of right now, that's on track. And one of the things we've been seeing is because our new ITSM are sensitive, we are seeing more outages that are leading to fire tickets. That's not a bad thing. That is that we want, hearing about things that are happening. We want to know about them as soon as we can. Put priority tickets in and get them the lowest. In your packet, if you really the reading material before you go to bed. If you're looking at that packet, you will see there's more high priority things, right? So this is just an acknowledgement of that and the fact that that's not a problem. What we don't want is bad things happening if we're not aware of it or trying. That's the main content. I will jump to the calendar. It's kind of the closing slide. Key questions, big packet items we can address. Okay. After our first try here. As I mentioned, here is our calendar for 2025. You'll notice we're done. So like I said, the monthly packet will go out in November and December. We'll get back together. There's our membership. Everyone's active and ready to go. I think our next one is 6. We've got a couple of here and later. Nothing in the
Great. If there's nothing further, we're going to be adjourned at 2:48. Thank you.